Welcome everybody to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. Most of you know that the mission of the 1M1M program is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue, to build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs by 2020. And of course, to do that, we need very, very committed, resilient entrepreneurs, serious entrepreneurs who can make that happen, who can be successful. We can only be successful if you are successful. So today, with great pleasure, I have to share with you two corporate partners who are hosting this roundtable with us, BlueSnap and Elance. The CEO of BlueSnap, Hagai Tal, and Executive Vice President of Elance, Ved, are both on the call, Ved Sinha. You'll see them in the room, and you will see them also as we go through the session asking questions. They will be judging the event. Today's roundtable is a contest final. The BlueSnap Elance contest has been running for the last month or over a month, and we've identified a set of entrepreneurs that are going to be presenting today. Today is the first final. The second final will be on Thursday. So you will have a set of entrepreneurs today from which we are going to select 6 winners, and then another set on Thursday will be selecting another 6 winners. And this is our 128th roundtable. So, we have been doing these for a long time. You will have the recording available to share with your friends and so on and so forth. If you are joining us on Twitter, maybe live tweeting the show, we see a lot of live tweeting going on during these events. Please use the hashtag 1M1M. The 1M by 1M Twitter account is at 1M by 1M, and my Twitter account is at Sramana. You could follow any of those as well, and we do some live tweeting from the at 1M by 1M account also. So our first presenter today is Travel Genie. Before we dive in, here are the rules of the game today. 5 minutes of pitching time, 5 minutes of Q&A from the judges, and Maureen will cut us off sharply at 10 minutes. So no presenter gets more than 10 minutes to work with us, and in that time you'll have to explain exactly what you're doing so that we fully understand what you're doing enough to be able to judge you on what you're doing. So the first presenter is Swarna Ellison from New Jersey. The company is Travel Genie. Swarna, if you could unmute your line and come and tell us what you're doing, that would be great.
Hi, this is Swarna. As Sramana said, I'm from New Jersey, and I'm here to pitch my concept for an online service that is focused on business professionals, traveling business professionals, with a focus on providing them access to local products and services, both for promotions, discounts, but also at a convenient, in a convenient manner. So moving on to the next slide, the problem that exists today is that there is no service that actually focuses primarily on business travelers. So the online service that I have been planning for is focused on allowing business travelers to have access to local discounts, local promotions, exposing them to maybe sales that are going on locally that they may not be aware of, and a few other features that would probably be provided in more advanced versions of this service. Features along the lines of providing them access to other professionals that may also be visiting the same city at the same time and may be interested in company for to enjoy local events of common interest, as well as maybe some other ancillary features such as having a record of all the purchases that they make on the service for future reference and even referrals. So the one segment of customers is the business traveler segment, but then another segment that I found that would be important for me to consider for this concept is also the local vendors and merchants. Today, local vendors and merchants don't really have a forum to be able to sell their products and services, targeting traveling business professionals that are visiting their city. And given that business travelers tend to value convenience more than cost, I figured that this is one of my assumptions, that they would be very interested in providing custom promotions and discounts to this customer segment to drive up their volume sales, as well as obviously to raise awareness of their products and services that they're offering. Another section of this service that might be a feature from a more advanced version of the service is vendor analytics, and I'll talk about that a little bit more if there are any other questions. But moving on to the next slide, just a quick description of the primary target customer, which is the traveling business professional. I have been traveling for 80% of my professional career, and I know well personally, but also through the experience of many of my colleagues, that when you're traveling as a business professional, or when one is traveling as a business professional, we value convenience more than cost. However, in this economy, I have not discounted cost as an important factor, and as a result, it is very much a part of the solution that I'm trying to put together. My assumption as a result is that this group of customers would be willing to pay a subscription fee to get access to local products and services that they can buy, as well as any promotions or discounts that are offered that they can buy and use and consume at their convenience. And that is really the key for this online service. The overall profile of this customer would fit into the age group of 30 to 55, which is the peak career age group, if you will, for most individuals. And then there are some baby boomers who travel extensively, falling within the 56 to 61-year age group. And the basic description is that they're college educated with income greater than $75K. At a very high level, the business model for this offering is based on a subscription fee model. I have tried to keep it very simple for the purposes of this pitch, but the basic subscription fee would be $20 for access to 1 month service, and the targeted customer group would get access to this 1 month subscription, irrespective of whether they're traveling one time to a new city or whether they are frequent travelers. However, this is clearly up for further refinement, but if anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to answer with respect to that particular assumption. The second part of this revenue generating model is that vendors would also pay per customer per purchasing customer. And in an advanced feature of this website, vendors would also pay for customers that might have indicated an interest in their product or service. I've used very conservative estimates for the share of market for year 1 and year 2, with the assumption that if this is executed well and if there is adequate customer acquisition and validation in years 1 and 2, year 3 will see a significant growth, actually almost double of year 2. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. I've planned for acquiring customers over 2 phases before this service is really launched. The first is 6 months of beta, where I am planning to focus on a few categories of offerings, 3 to 4, with, excuse me, seeking vendors primarily in the beginning stages, either focused on those categories or focused in one locale of the city. And I am planning to focus first in New York City, because that is right next door, and I used to live there. As well as the city being the city has a very strong contingent of business professionals coming in throughout the year. I'll also be trying to seek early adopters of customers during this beta site, and because funds will be very minimal at the beta stage, I was planning to go through the no to low-cost channels like Facebook, Daily Candy, Timeout, and so on. In phase one, the assumption is that I would have acquired a reasonable number of vendors, a reasonable number of early adopter customers to have gotten feedback that allows me to have built a website that I can then launch as version 1.0, and that would allow me to then acquire additional customers through partnership with a major airline carrier and/or a hotel chain, and allowing me to bring this service to the forefront through one of their loyalty programs. But my intent is not to have this exclusive to any one major carrier or hotel chain in the long run.
Okay.
So in terms of competition, clearly there are many websites that are already offering various versions of this service, but not a single one of them offers them all in a targeted solution focused primarily on business travelers, giving them the usability as well as consumption options on their terms. So what that means is that this service will allow, for example, someone to be able to buy tickets and have it couriered on the same day or maybe the next day, and all at a reasonable subscription price. As I mentioned,
what I find missing from here are two of the most important players in your segment that you need to be aware of. One is Concur, and the second one is Reardon Commerce. Are you familiar with them? Are you familiar with these companies?
Concur, yes. What is the next one?
Reardon Commerce.
No, I have not heard of that.
Okay, so you need to look up what they're doing. They are doing a lot of what you're trying to do here.
Okay.
You could essentially complement and supplement what they're doing with categories where they're not as present, but when it comes to restaurants and car rentals and all that, they're covering all that very, very precisely. So it's very important that you position your solution with full awareness of what they are doing.
All right. Thank you for that. So,
right. I think your pitch time is kind of over.
Okay.
So quickly cover whatever else that is a highlight of your business, and then I think we should give Ved and Hagai and myself a chance to ask you other questions.
Sure. Now, is this the time to ask you some questions that I had on the last slide?
Yes, you can do that.
Sure. So one of the assumptions I had in the plan that I put together is that I would pick a few categories during the beta phase, but the biggest question that comes up is what is the best way to select the right category so that I'm getting the traction up front, both with the vendors as well as possible early adopters?
The first thing I would do is go check out what Reardon Commerce and Concur are doing, what categories are they covering, and then come up with complementary offerings to those, in which case you could even potentially go to market through their channels.
Got it. Okay. And the other two are the chicken and egg solution question, which is in launching the version 1.0, would it make more sense to expand vendors in existing categories or add new categories? And that's always a question, I guess, that businesses face when they're trying to grow further.
Need to figure out what categories are already, what are the kind of mission-critical categories outside of what your major competitors are providing, and then make that decision.
Okay.
All right. Let's offer Hagai and Ved a chance to ask questions. Ved, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sramana. Thank you, Swarna. Question I had was could you elaborate a little bit more on how you see the value prop as differentiated for the business traveler versus a local of the area? I didn't fully get that. I got the discount part. If you just elaborate a little bit more on the value proposition.
Yes. The biggest part about this service is that it allows the business traveler to have exposure to what's happening in the city. Oftentimes, if you're visiting a city for the first time, you really don't even know where to go or where to get started or to take advantage of any local events or local sales that are happening. So that's one aspect of it. The second, so exposure to what's happening locally. The second aspect of it is the actual purchase as well as receiving delivery of these services. So if, for example, I forgot to pack something, an essential item, I would be able to go onto this website, purchase it, and have it couriered to me at whatever address that I specify on the same day. Or it could be entertainment tickets, for example, tickets to a sporting event. So that's basically consumption at one's convenience. And the third aspect is, of course, at a reasonable price.
Okay, and then
so you're not paying an arm and a leg for any of this.
Okay, and the second question is in terms of getting the vendors in the targeted categories. In terms of getting vendors in target categories to offer, the discounts that you were mentioning. I mean, do you think that there is some fatigue in terms of the vendors, offering discounts to all the, the Groupon-like sites? Why would they want to take on another discounting kind of service?
Right. So one of the things that that vendors today face is that you're right. In terms of the Groupons and the travel zoos of the world, they are providing discounts for the average consumer. This is a selective group of customers that may be willing to pay a little bit more. When it comes to convenience versus cost, they value convenience more. That's my assumption. And as a result, the pricing will be different for this group than for the average consumer. So, and there are certain parts of the year that have that peak in terms of business travel within certain cities. New York, San Francisco, Chicago, they all face their conference times and so on and so forth. So from a vendor or merchant's perspective, to be able to tap into these large number of visitors coming into the city, I would consider be very attractive.
Hagai, I think we should give you a chance to ask questions.
Yeah, the question I have is more related to user acquisition. So do you see the challenge more of bringing the vendors, or you see the challenge of bringing the buyers, or I would say the business traveler? What do you see is I know it's the egg and the chicken question, but what do you see is the biggest challenge here?
I would think it would be getting the vendors to Ved's point. If I can get them on board, which I believe should not be a huge problem, getting the business travelers on board would not be that much of an issue. Travelers are constantly looking for a convenient way to make their trips easier. And there aren't that many services right now focused for business travelers to make their trips convenient.
Okay, I have to...
Hagai, let me address that question. I think there is an opportunity to partner with the conference organizers as well, the conference venues and so forth, to
That's right.
To bring this to market from the user point of view.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and I did mention that I was thinking of partnering with a major carrier hotel chain, but you're absolutely right. Conference venues would be another channel.
Excuse me, Swarna. It's time to move on to the next person.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Well, good presentation, Swarna. Let's see how you do after we've gone through more of the presenters. Bala, you're up next.
Hi, Sramana. Hi, everybody. So I've got pretty much 30 seconds per slide, so I'll zip through them. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Yes.
So we are Semaphore Analytics. We are a consulting company. Our mission is to democratize advanced business analytics, such as predictive analytics, through affordable apps and learning modules. One thing I want to take away from this slide is that we've been consultants for the last 2 years in this field, and pretty much every consulting project that we've done has resulted in an app, either a general purpose app or a very specific, highly custom app that we've developed for our customers. So we're a team of 4 partners, and what we want to do is we want to scale what we're doing on a much broader level. Next slide, please. So our customers, we have 2 major segments of customers. We are classifying them as analytics users and analytics consumers. Our analytics users are basically students and entry and mid-level analytics professionals. The need that they have is an affordable, on-demand program that gives them good training on analytics, on the various aspects, on various applications. And at the same time, a lot of students are looking for an affordable certification program that is backed with academic credit. That's the first segment. The second segment that we're looking at for our apps, we call them analytics consumers. These are small business owners and managers of mid-sized businesses in operations and marketing areas. They have serious lack of analytics resources. and also knowledge, and our apps we are hoping to fill that need. Next slide, please. So the value proposition, as I mentioned, for the education, for the analytics user group, is the on-demand learning module, and again, the certificate for credit, which we are offering in collaboration with a couple of academic partners. And for the analytics consumers, the need is an app that will not require them to install expensive on-premise technology, because our apps are based on open source technology, and it's going to be cloud-based and software as a service. Obviously, it will be easy to deploy and scale. And we have two apps. One is a general purpose app that's already out there, and a very specific app for doing cost forecasting that's used in budget forecasting. Next slide. So why would student users buy the certification program? Well, clearly the affordability is one factor, and more important, we feel the applicability. One in our discussion with our academic partners, we see that they are actually hungry for some real-world case studies, real-world experience, and that's what we're bringing through our learning modules. And obviously, the credibility factor is an important one. Now, in terms of entry-level to mid-level professional users, why would they buy our modules? Well, they're affordable, they're on-demand, anytime, any place, and of course, they're also based on open-source technology, so they don't need to buy any expensive software to be able to run the models or use the data to create their own models. And we offer email support, unlimited. And moving on to the analytics consumers, again, I already touched upon this. They're easy to deploy, require no IT support at all, and we are offering a choice of pay-per-use for every model or every analysis, or a monthly subscription. And so the value is that we provide complex analysis in an easy-to-interpret dashboard or a chart. Next slide, please. Our customer acquisition strategy is based on a very simple philosophy. Companies that educate end up winning customers. And here I don't mean educate as in offering our learning modules or certification, but educating by providing awareness through offering a variety of free resources. And we are doing that through our ebooks and white papers and some free versions of our general purpose apps. In this case, we have an app called Key Connect. And we also have an analytics portal called VisTask, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more in the next slide. So our main elements of customer acquisition strategy is inbound marketing through blogging and social media engagement. Next slide, please. So VisTask is an analytics portal. It's a vertical search engine. What users can do is go there and type in a business problem, and then we find the best analytics technique that will help them address that particular problem. It also points them to a variety of resources in terms of videos, papers, data, and models. All these are free, but at the same time, we also plan to sell our learning modules on this portal. So a user who comes in for free information will be a good target for us to sell them the paid versions of the program. Can you go back one slide, please, Sramana? So we developed this based on real user input. We had seen that people were asking a bunch of questions about what techniques would be the right ones for a given problem. So the portal is designed to address this very real need in the market. Next slide, please. So in terms of validation, well, IBM recently came out with a study that said that the biggest challenge in analytics today is the lack of education, lack of skill, and the lack of awareness among the small and mid-sized business owners as to how to use analytics. And this has been reflected in our growth. Our website traffic has grown pretty much for about 20% month over month for the last year since we went online. VisTask was launched in early 2012, and we already have about 500 registered users with hardly any advertising at all. And we've also been doing some market testing based on our free white papers. We see that there is a healthy demand for people. People would pay for a learning module that is priced in the range that I mentioned, $30 to $50, for learning about a specific analytics technique. Next. Again, our marketing strategy has given us consulting customers as well. We have actually signed an MOU with 2 Indian universities to offer certification programs. So this would be for a specific one particular segment of our analytics users segment. This is the captive students in a university, and we are expecting to launch our certification program, first version, by the end of this summer, and we are expecting about 300 students to sign up from one of these colleges. We also have an MOU with analytics service providers to supply them with a talent pipeline. So people who graduate with our certification program will have guaranteed access to these service providers for an interview and hopefully for a job. In terms of apps, our Key Connect app, we have about 3 companies that have signed up as pre-beta customers, along with about 20-odd analytics producers who are basically consultants and other analytics users. And we have a good partnership going on with RapidEye, who is the #1 developer of open source data mining software, and this will be the platform on which we'll build many of our apps. Next slide, please. In terms of competition, obviously we have plenty of competition out there. Stanford has its machine learning course, which is free, and also Coursera has a whole bunch of courses. These are all free, but there's no credit or certification available through those. Stanford also offers an online certification program, but it's pretty expensive. We are going to be, we're not going to be competing at that level. And again, it takes 2 to 3 years. And on top of that, we also have a lot of other independent consultants who have training centers, but then again, they're not on demand. They require you to sit in a classroom or attend a virtual class on a schedule. And then again, they're not recognized by any academic institution. So considering this, the price at which they offer this solution is pretty expensive. For the apps, again, our biggest competitors are the licensed on-premise predictive analytics software, for example, SAS or IBM. But again, these are expensive to maintain and also to use. People need extensive training and require a lot of expertise. Again, you can also say that open source is a competitor, but open source is difficult. Again, with you need to know really what you're doing. So that's basically what our main project is. And in terms of challenges, we need support in a couple of different areas. One is we need support to help us improve the user experience. That's one area. The other one is we need support for, we need marketing resources to help move our analytics users who are currently, members of VISTAS to push them up to the next level of engagement, and hopefully also convert some of these alumni into customers for our analytics apps. And we need a robust lead generation strategy for our analytics, for our apps consumers.
Bala, it looks like you have 2 different businesses going on here. One is a training business, which is a business in itself, and 2, you have an apps business, which again is a business in itself. I'm a little bit uncomfortable about your being in 2 different businesses.
Sramana, one thing that we see is that our apps are also educational tools in the sense that people who learn a particular technique, they get the opportunity to actually use it, and so the free version of our apps actually facilitated that.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. These are entry-level people that you're training. They're going to get into an organization. By the time they have any, buying power, it's going to be a long time. The bottom line is you're in 2 very different businesses, and if I were you, I would choose one of those businesses to be in. It would be very difficult to build 2 different businesses like this. Anyway, I will hand it over to Haggai for the next question, and then over to Ved.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about how do you plan to acquire the potential buyers here? Is there a free version, and then when exactly you decided to move to a paying version? How exactly the balance is going to work here?
So the free version is obviously going to have very limited features and very limited capabilities. So we'll have a limit on how big a data set is going to be before they can use it for the free version. And so in terms of if they want to actually do some serious production work, they will have to move into a paid version.
And they can stay forever with the free version, right?
They could potentially stay forever with the free version, but if you know much about the way some of these analytics programs work, you cannot really do a whole lot other than just getting a toy program or toy model to work. If you want to do some serious work, you will have to upgrade to a paid version.
Okay.
All right, Ved, would you like to ask a question?
Maybe I'll add another question, okay?
Oh, go ahead.
Can you tell us a little bit what's the size of the market here? How many players potentially can be your customers here?
Sure. So the TAM at this point, based on our experience with social media groups like LinkedIn, is about 50,000 people. But if you were to look into some of the studies that is done by McKinsey and IBM, they are projecting the user base to grow, or rather, the demand is supposed to the demand for analytics professionals is supposed to go up to about 200,000 by 2018. So right now we are about 50,000 as total TAM.
Okay.
All right, Hagai, do you have anything else that you want to?
No.
No. Ved, how about you?
Yeah, I just want to second what Sramana said about being two different markets. I mean, you've got a student and education kind of market, and you've got an analytics targeted SMB market. And in my opinion, it would be extremely hard, if not impossible, to build a scalable business in both kind of segments. One question I have as a follow-up is on the SMB side. I think there's a huge opportunity, for the analytics catering to smaller businesses who currently have no access to this kind of capability. Have you had the opportunity to segment the market out to figure out how you would attack the SMBs and what sort of acquisition strategies you'd have?
So currently, we have developed one app that helps a company to helps them with their budget forecasting. So this is being used by one of our customers who's actually not a small business, who's a mid-sized business. They're using our app to essentially build monthly transportation budgets. So that's one of the products that we would like to sell on a more general term. So the product itself will require very minimal customization when you go from one customer to other customer, but it will require some customization.
Okay, and then in terms of smaller businesses, time is at a premium for them. How would just in a paragraph, how quick would the implementation be? Would you have to have pre-built modules, or it's a very broad platform to say analytics. Would you have specific modules that you would implement quickly?
Correct. So, for example, if you take the cost forecasting example, we built the module for our customer in 2 months.
Okay.
And so basically, we build the model, they deploy the model, and they get access to a dashboard, and that dashboard they continue to interact with on a monthly basis or as needed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think we need to move on.
Yep. Thank you, Bala. We'll talk more in a bit. Next presenter is Erica. Karishma Kids is the company. Erica, if you could.
Hello. Hi. So, hello, everyone. So I'm Erica Brodnock, and I'm just going to rush through the slides quite quickly because there isn't that much time. So, next slide, please. So, what is Charisma Kids? Well, we create fun-filled games and tools for children, parents, and teachers, providing an experience that is the prescription for health, happiness, confidence, and creativity. We've got 4 vibrant characters, and children between the ages of 5 and 11 will be able to play games that enhance social, emotional, and academic skills. The characters make healthy eating, adopting a positive mindset, and exercises such as yoga cool things to do. We feature ebooks and webisodes depicting the characters overcoming difficult children that children might face. So, for example, we look at topics that range from anxiety about the first day at school or going to the dentist, right the way through to parental separation, being bullied, or experiencing abuse. So I think we need to go back a slide, just please, so I can go through why Charisma Kids, that's right. So I'm a mum, a single mum to 5 children, and 4 years ago I was diagnosed with an illness, told that I would never recover and need to take medication for the rest of my life. So I refused to believe that and embarked on the most amazing journey of self-discovery, which led to me making a full recovery. So I completely shocked the doctor who diagnosed me in the first place. But during those turbulent times, my children were hugely affected. Their behaviour deteriorated and there was no support available to us. I was determined to ensure that my children were provided with a way to identify and manage their emotions, because I didn't want them to spiral out of control or suppress their emotions into adulthood and end up with a similar diagnosis to the one that I'd been given. I actually searched for toys and games that allowed children to build characteristics such as self-esteem, self-belief and efficacy, but couldn't find anything. So myself and other passionate professionals formed Charisma Kids to provide an online, safe platform for children to learn to identify and manage their emotions, nurture themselves and react positively to difficult situations. So next slide, please. So our customers are parents, teachers, schools and other educational institutions. The Office for National Statistics states that there were 17.9 million families with dependent children in the UK in 2011. So this is a mass market product appealing to parents who want to increase their child's happiness, confidence and creativity, teachers wanting to create a more productive learning environment, and educational establishments wanting their exam results to be improved. So the technology that we're going to be using in the games has been extensively researched and proven to improve performance around the world. So there's a huge potential for Charisma Kids to become a global brand. I mean, Mushy Monsters have managed to attract 50 million users last year, with an average of 5,000 new users signing up to the site each and every day. So, you know, there's no reason we can't achieve that. Next slide, please. So looking at this slide, we will take an iterative approach to customer acquisition. There's no one way that works 100%, so we've got a range of strategies to test our assumptions and achieve product market fit, where at least 40% of our users will say that they would be very disappointed if they lost the access to our service. So we'll see the benefits of our services as identified by those users and then highlight them in all of our future marketing. The selected business model will allow us then to profitably acquire new users, and then it will be a case of repeating and streamlining that process. Next slide, please. So here you see our main competitors. However, none of their products focus on emotional intelligence, positivity or self-efficacy, which is a USP that's proven an absolute hit with the parents that we surveyed. Our site will be similar to Mushy Monsters, so it will be welcoming, vibrant, with gaming that's easy to use, but it will also be underpinned by positive psychology. Children will care for themselves, their peers and their community. They'll learn skills that promote vitality and using their minds to create a happy future for themselves. And our research confirms that consumers feel that such a site would be useful. So that moves us nicely on to customer validation. So as an early stage startup, we're not selling any services yet, but we have conducted extensive market research showing the amounts that parents pay for similar gaming. Researchers have also confirmed that emotional intelligence is as important, if not more important, for ongoing success in the lives of individuals. And we surveyed 800 parents, 98.25% of which confirmed that they would be happy to pay the monthly subscription at the price points that we've identified. And then 100% of those parents said that they would be happy to have their children spending time on a site with offered the features and benefits that we described. So the characters that we've developed, that you've been seeing through the slides here, have been developed based on the information that we collected, and they've been subsequently evaluated by children who absolutely love and identified with the colours and the outfits and that sort of thing. So how do we make money? The site's based on a freemium model with registration and personalisation of a character, 4 webisodes which introduce each character, and some basic games being available for a limited time. In order to continue, we're looking at annual subscriptions of £60, which will need to be paid to access all areas and content, or monthly subscriptions, which enables access to limited content on a month-by-month basis and then costs £5.97 per month. And we're also going to be offering the option to purchase individual items at $1.99 per audio or co-created story. For parents and teachers, we're then going to be offering free hints and tips via a regular inspirational newsletter, general videos, and meditation and visualization guides. There'll be more specific content available to the parents if they want it then, at prices that range from £600 to about £900, and they will cover specialist topics such as talking to their children about getting divorced or becoming ill, right the way through to £900 for a 13-week training course.
Erica,
we'll
I have a question for you. 1 second. What would it cost you? What are the capital requirements of the business to get this to a minimum viable product and get it launched so that these 800 or so parents that you have surveyed can actually have something to play with and something to start using?
Right. I'm under the impression that that will cost me about $250K to get the full site up and running. It's going to cost about $20K to get a test site and all of the video content and all of that sort of thing sorted out. But since I applied for the competition, I have managed to secure some funding. So one of my later questions was going to be, how can I, or what advice would you give around leveraging the funding that I've already secured in order to secure more and then grow the business?
So 250K pounds or dollars?
Pounds.
Pounds. And how much have you raised so far?
I've actually managed to raise the 250K.
You have raised the 250.
So,
brilliant.
Yeah, so I have.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm really, really pleased about that.
Okay, good. All right. So let's finish your presentation and let's go to the Q&A. Is that all?
So I was going to talk a little bit about the management team and the fact that I know one of the things that I need to do most urgently is appoint a chief financial officer, and I was going to talk around what we were going to be doing, looking at customer services and support for people who are going to be... No,
I don't think you need to put a chief financial officer in place. What you need is somebody who's going to develop this product. If you have 250K pounds already in place, how you build the product and who's going to design the product and who's going to bring the product to market, that is probably the #1 issue right now.
Yeah, that's certainly,
who of this group of people is going to do that?
Right, okay, so we've looked at getting together the web developers. So I've contacted a couple of people. It's only been literally Friday that I got agreement from the angel investor that I could get the 250K. So up until that point, I was looking for investment. So that was my main focus. Since then, I've approached somebody on the Open Coffee list that I'm a member of who develops websites. We've spoken, we've discussed through what it is that I want the site to be able to do, broken that down into the areas and components, and then we're looking to have a meeting. We've got a couple of bank holidays today and tomorrow over in the UK, but on Wednesday there's a meeting set up so that we can go through in great detail what it is that I want the site to be able to do, and then putting together the content.
Okay. All right. So let me invite the judges to ask their questions. Dave, why don't you first this time?
Sure. Let's see. The question I would have is, hearing the presentation, it makes me feel like the most important thing that you need to develop is actually the content, the product that you will deliver. And if you think about the movie making business, how do you develop a movie that's a hit? And in this case, what do you believe you need in order to develop a hit in terms of the content that you're going to be offering to those parents? What kind of creative skills do you need? What kind of technical skills do you need to get the content to be that hit? Do you have any thoughts on how you think you'll get there?
Right. So the 13-week parenting program, for instance, that we're going to be leveraging through the site. I've written and delivered that parenting program several times before, so it will just be a case of having that filmed in such a way that we can then put the content up onto the site. Again, much of the information that we want to disseminate to the parents, the characters, all of that sort of thing, those sorts of things have already been developed. It's just a case of getting them from, sheets of paper or in the expert's head out onto the screen. So we need people that are good with animation, that are able to video content, that are able to edit content, and then put it up onto the platform for us. So that's what we're lacking as a team at the moment. But as I say, I've been in contact with a couple of people who are specialists in those areas. But the webisodes are going to be another thing that we need to develop as well. So we need an animator. But it's going to be a hit because the market research has been done already, and parents are crying out for this. I'm not, the only parent that needs it.
Absolutely. And just one follow-up question. I mean, you have a very targeted segment, and you have a strong understanding of that segment. In terms of acquiring customers in this segment, you're going to have to try out multiple channels really quickly and see which ones are working and which ones are not working. Do you have a perspective right now on what channels, whether it's online or offline, you think will work to get your customers
right? Yeah, so online, I've already been building followings on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and the like, and so that's all happening. We'll be leveraging SEO as well, so that when people search for emotional intelligence with children or children having difficulties, they come across our site. Offline, I'm going to be engaging with schools and with other educational establishments, setting up competitions for children where if they get the highest score on any of our games, they can then win something that's going to be of use to them, maybe an iPod or something like that. And then also going, like I say, through schools, and letting them know the benefits of having children who are playing these sorts of games that are going to be coming into school feeling calm and ready to learn, and then getting the schools to be sort of pushing it as well. Getting children that are using the site to refer other children to the site and able then to build up points which will get them into other areas of the site without their parents having to spend any money is another thing that I'm looking at doing as well. So we've got a few.
I have a comment here, guys. That we have a relationship with ANN Media that's got a very strong channel into the female demographic. If this product comes out to be there's a big if here. You have to develop a solid, strong product. If the product comes out solid and strong and you can validate it within your early customer base, that is a channel that we could bring you into potentially.
Oh, brilliant. That would be absolutely amazing.
Haggai, would you like to ask questions before we wrap up and move on to the next one?
Yeah, I think like everyone else of my colleagues here, I think the main challenge will be the product, and it's like real estate, so it's going to be product, and product. And I think when you build a product, you need to think about the viral marketing of the product, how exactly one kid is going to generate another kid. And I don't know if the kids are the target market here or the parents are the target market, but whatever the target market is, because it's a competitive market, you need to find a way to get into this market without spending a lot of money for user acquisition.
Yeah.
It goes back to the product. If the product is going to be branded and very cool, you know, no one will tell you that Angry Bird will be a cool product, but it is right now. If you find the trick to get in, okay, that will be the key game. So my advice to you will be focus on the product and find the right people to give you the cool way to go and find the product, because that will be the one thing that will lead you from raising money, and will lead you from the success and the amount of people who are joining the service.
Yes, I think what you said is absolutely right, and I would underscore the team issue. If I were you, I would get a person on board who is an expert, who at least has some experience in developing a virtual world. What you're trying to do here is a virtual world product, and we have lots of case studies of virtual worlds in the program. We know, you know, we know people in the business of building virtual worlds, but you do need somebody who knows how to build a virtual world product with all the nuances and the details. It is not as simple as you are making it out to be at all. And I vastly underestimate the complexity of this product.
I completely understand the complexity of it, but then I also know that available now, I will be able to find the people who do know. So I'm not pretending that I know all about the virtual world. That's not my strength. What is my strength is the actual the technical intricacies of the product and the games that children are then going to be playing.
We got that. I think all three of us are telling you that there's a big product risk here, because you do not have a person on your team who understands how to build virtual worlds, and that's probably your #1 risk factor. All right, we need to move on. Marcos, you're up next. Marcos? What's happening here? Is Marcos on the call, Maureen? He seems to be on the call.
Marcos was just chatting with me before. He looks like he's still in the room.
Okay, while you sort that out, I'm going to move to the next presenter. Ken, why don't you go next, and then we'll come back to Marcos after we've figured out what's going on with him.
Okay, thanks, Sramana. It's Ken Snyder. Welcome, everyone. I'm here to talk to you about a company called LifeGadget, which I'm the founder of. I'm based in London, and LifeGadget as a company is focused on helping people manage personal data, while at the same time helping businesses work with their customers more effectively through the use of data. You can move on to the next slide. The main problem that we're trying to solve is that there is an awful lot of data. It's not that there's a lot of data that's the problem, but it's not highly available. Historically, a lot of that data truly wasn't available in a digital form, but today it is. It's scattered across 1,000 different places, and unfortunately, you know, for the individual, it's typical for a large retailer to actually have more data on the individual than they have themselves. So what we're, you know, looking at here is a case of time versus value. There is definitely interest. I've done market research myself, and there's a number of other parties who have shown that people are interested in this data, but they're busy. They're time constrained, and so really what it comes down to is it's too hard right now for people to really manage their own data effectively. So if you can move on to the next slide. Let's talk a little bit about the solution that we're providing. There's three things that LifeGadget is going to do. First of all, it's gathering information, so it's centralizing the data into one place. It's doing that in an automated fashion wherever possible. It's also LifeGadget's responsibility to facilitate a relationship between an individual and their privately trusted partners. So allowing them to you know, send information back and forth to these trusted partners and allow for the partners to build richer, more data-aware relationships with their customers as well. And finally, in terms of presenting information, the ability to have all information in one place provides a lot of insights, and we hope to provide those insights back to customers about their own behavior. Likewise, for businesses, it's a platform to innovate both by eliminating unnecessary plumbing and also allowing for businesses to focus on information rather than just devices. Can you move on? Okay, so who are we targeting? We're naming our target segment the Gadget Geek. Effectively, really what this is a modern version of the early adopter. We're going to focus on the U.S. and UK market. And the reason we're focusing on this group right now is that this is an area that is developing quickly, but this group is already actively spending in the space. They respond well to messages around proactive health, self-empowerment, and ultimately they tend to move between gadgets very quickly. They like the ability from Life Gadget to be able to move from one device to the next without losing anything from a data tracking standpoint. So what is the marketplace? Having done research, we think it's around 5 million people who are in this Gadget Geek category. It's probably worth mentioning that there are some fairly large secondary markets that also would have a substantial amount of interest in this product and from day one. We're not going to target them, so it's not, in terms of focus, we are definitely focusing on the Gadget Geeks, but it's worth mentioning that there's the 5 million plus some additional bleed-in. Okay. So how do we convert customers? I'm going to primarily talk about marketing strategy, and I think a lot of startups will talk about viral marketing and keywords, and certainly that is part of our strategy as well. We do think that in terms of viral marketing, anyways, we have there's a good amount of buzz around personal analytics and an ability to generate kind of grassroots excitement about that, as well as interest from the press to write stories. Really, our main focus here, though, is around B2B affiliations. We think that brings us 3 important benefits. One is it allows for us to do quick conversions of customers. So, for instance, we had a Virgin Active Gyms that would be a great partner in the sense that they have a huge customer base throughout the UK, and we could convert them over to Life Gadget customers. Obviously, in doing that with a recognized brand, we're also lending credibility by commingling our brands.
You have a relationship?
I'm sorry?
Do you already have that relationship?
No, it's an example, and I think to be fair, it's probably not the first relationship that we're going to be able to. I mean, there would be a dream relationship to have something like that, because I think they're one of the top 3 gyms in the UK, but they're an example of the kind of partnerships that we want to build.
What keyword would drive traffic to your offering?
Sorry, what is the?
What keyword would drive traffic to your offering? How do you position this from a keyword point of view?
Well, personal analytics is definitely one. Self-tracking, quantified self.
What volume do those words have today? Have you researched that?
I haven't done too much research on that. I actually have discussions set up with people who know a lot more about SEO than I do, but no, I don't know exactly what our strategy is with keywords yet.
Okay, because that's something that unless there is actual keyword volume on those topics, on those keywords, you will not get any traffic at all.
I mean, there's a lot of press right now around kind of topics about self-tracking, proactive health, individualized health. So I think there are a number of words that we can attach to that should be able to get us traffic. In terms of which ones are the best, I honestly don't know right now.
So the other thing that I'm not comfortable about, based on what you've said so far, is specifically what personal analytics are we talking about? Can you offer some use cases? I don't think we've really heard a use case from you on what is it that a person is trying to do that would require paying for analytics solutions.
Yeah, so I mean the key example that I think a lot of people are focused on right now is in the wellness category, being able to track data about themselves around whether it be running, I think linear sports like running and cycling have been in a lead for a long time because of GPS technology, but there's an emerging general sector of accelerometer-based devices that are coming into the marketplace. There is also a number of kind of home
those all have lots of apps. The apps ecosystem is really active in that space, in the wellness and exercise and
they are. I mean, but it's very typical of an industry in its early stages in the sense that each one of those usually sensors, physical sensors, along with some software that helps you analyze them. They are providing a small piece of information about you. That's useful, and typically the ones that are out there being successful are choosing pieces of data that data by itself is interesting. But all data is more interesting in context, and there's a lot of data that actually doesn't actually get attention until it is in context. So I think, one of the things I've been doing for the last year is attending a lot of the quantified self and speaking at a lot of the quantified self conferences, which is a group, a worldwide group now that focuses in on quantifying oneself. And the demand for a product like this, of being able to take the various data sources that are out there and bring them into one place, allow people to take ownership of that data, allow them to buy the Fitbit one day and then the Nike Plus the next day, and not have it interfere with their tracking patterns, is a substantial benefit, something that people are really asking for loudly. I think more than that, the customer that we're also looking strongly at is the B2B customer, and that there's a whole service industry that today is forced to, that would clearly benefit from having this kind of data. I mean, whether that be personal trainers, dietitians, weight loss clinics, doctors, and the list goes on, of services that would like to have the data, but they can't afford to really interact with the customer at a device level. So being able to remove that device level and be able to deal with just the data itself is much more attractive. And I think going to this competition slide, the message is, there's a lot of big names here. They are worthy competitors. I think their presence in the space in some ways legitimizes the fact that there is a market demand. However, each of these competitors has some significant handicaps. Microsoft and until recently Google played primarily in the healthcare space, and their approach was very clinical. It was more focused on more hypochondriacs really than gadget geeks. Whereas Runkeeper and Nike, they're quite strong in the wellness space. Their brands will be probably a bit stretched to cover the full personal analytics space, but more importantly, they have really strong retail competitors which will resist them becoming an aggregator. So there are people here, and I think that there is a growing interest in the space. In terms of where we are right now, we're still in the early stage, but we're pretty far along in developing our alpha product. In the next 4 to 6 weeks, we should have that out. I expect to be able to get an international group of about a dozen people to start providing feedback, and that's one of the key ingredients. We're looking for both the feedback on the B2C and the B2B side. Beta in September, release in January. We are also starting to kick off some discussions around seed funding to increase the headcount and scale up the infrastructure.
All right. Ved, Hagai, would you like to move with your questions?
Oh, yeah, this is Ved. Sure. The question I would have is, I think from the presentation, what I've taken away is the concept of quantified self and devices that measure your personal attributes. I think that direction is very appealing and very cool. However, I still feel that from your presentation it's a little abstract. It's kind of a very broad sort of horizontal service. I wish I had seen more specifics of, here's an angle of attack into this quantified self overall market. So that's one part that I'm a little, I'm not getting. I get the overall direction, and I think that's very interesting, and seems it's going to be very interesting even further going forward. But I'm not able to see how you're going to attack that large market.
Okay.
In terms of the specific use case, that's.
I did debate whether I should provide more screenshots, but I think that it is one of those things that it's a little bit hard to get it below the abstract level until you actually start to see the screen and start to understand what the product looks like. But to me, the key value proposition for both the customer and the B2B business is that they can have continuity of tasks regardless of device. So for the gadget geek, that means they can move between devices, and they don't have to worry about, I have all my data in Runkeeper, so therefore I can't use Endomondo, or I really like the Nike looks really cool, but I can't switch because I'm blocked. So it removes that transactional barrier. But more importantly, I think for the B2B customer, there's, I've talked to a number of the personal trainers in London, and kind of pretty universally, they both are excited about the kind of revolution in data analytics for people, and they want to be involved in it. But the software that's out there right now is really servicing the kind of personal empowerment message, and it's almost to the exclusion of including them in that. So they're not able to participate in a way that.
Ken, my suggestion would be to then kind of put, the way to pitch this is you're doing a personal analytics product for the personal trainers to monitor their customers. The way you're pitching this is not the way to pitch it, because as Ved said, he couldn't get what is it that is specifically you're doing, who's the customer, what is the specific product. That's my one comment. And the second comment is that I'm not sure if you would be able to extract data out of the Nikes and the other applications out there. Why would they give you access to their data?
So right now we have access to some of the social data, so things like Facebook, Foursquare, and Withings, which is a Wi-Fi scale. We're adding in
the data that you want. You want the data that's sitting inside the wellness apps, and it's not clear to me that those apps are going to give you access.
There's definitely two varieties of companies out there. So for the Fitbits, we're going to be adding that in the next couple of weeks. There's quite a few of them where that data is accessible, and you're right. I think Nike, because of the position they're in, they're going to be quite resistant to it. But there's going to be the Reeboks and other providers who are playing catch-up that I think are really our target right now.
But you're making these assumptions without validating them, and I think those are central assumptions to the viability of your business. All right, let me offer Hagai a chance to ask his questions, and then we need to wrap up this one.
Yeah, so, the one comment that I have, I have many comments, but the one comment that I have, it looks like the focus is the main issue that is missing here. And maybe it's a B2B businesses, but I was looking more for information that comes from the potential clients to say that this is really what's hurting them and this is really what they need, why they need these analytic tools for them. And if I were you, I would focus again on one thing, to do it the best way you can, and try to talk to as many customer or potential customers you have to get more information what exactly they need. It looks like you suggested here two different approaches, and I think you should pick just one and focus and try to do it the best you can. That's my impression for the 5 minutes presentation.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's fair. Thank you.
Okay. So if Marcos is ready, we're going to go back and do Marcos's pitch. Marcos, are you on the line?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. All right. Hold on. Let me go back to your pitch. Thank you, Ken. We will, there we go. All right, Marcos, go for it.
Great. It's good to see you again, Sramana. And I want to thank everybody who's joined this presentation. So my name is Marcos Menendez. I'm one of the founders of Momaris. And what we do at Momaris is we help brands and advertising agencies so they can reach their customers via mobile phone to engage them, drive loyalty, and increase sales. And we do this by providing an online mobile marketing platform and by providing mobile marketing plan and management services. So what I'm presenting is I'd like to talk about what we've learned over the past year, who are not our clients, which has been a big learning lesson, which clients our services and tools have worked well for, how do we copy that success, and how do we go about doing it? How do we go about duplicating that success? Okay. So over the past year, we've been working hard at understanding our target market, and more important, understanding who are not our customers. That seems hard to believe, but we've actually learned a lot from people who have not been a good fit for us. So we originally presented Momaris to all types of small businesses as a do-it-yourself online tool to send text messages with offers and coupons to their customers. So that's pretty basic. We work with many different kinds of small businesses, but in time we came to understand that our product wasn't the right fit for them. So we know well at this moment who is not our customers. Next slide, please. So go back one, please. Yes, all right. So in the midst of all this trial and error, we've had one customer that kept growing. Their mobile campaigns kept producing pretty good results. But we were so focused, so focused on trying to make it work for small businesses that we didn't notice that this customer kept growing their mobile list of subscribers and getting good returns on their mobile campaigns. Next slide. So our single advertising agency client was delivering great results for their clients using our platforms and our services. And as revenue revenue grew on a month-to-month basis from this single client. When we finally took notice of this, it really hit us like an angry bird. So of course, traditional ad agencies have clients who want mobile, but the agencies themselves don't have the technology, the expertise, and frankly the time to incorporate mobile into everything else they're doing. So they look to outsource. Okay. And in comes our best performing client, Lip of Advertising. It's the agency of record for the third largest pet food and pet food products retailer, Pet Supermarket, and there are 127 retail locations in the U.S. So with this new epiphany, we come to realize that agencies make the best kinds of clients for us, and we want to continue to copy this model. So the next question for us is to determine, well, what the local market looks like for us. Next slide. So there are about 293 agencies in South Florida that we are considering as our target market. The question is, how do we plan to reach this ever elusive, hyper-caffeinated, million ideas a day agency owners? They're super busy, but they're the key person that will make the decision of whether or not to consider us as a potential mobile partner. So how do we reach them? And our question, and based on our resources and my experience, just good old-fashioned call calling and networking. Plus, we produce a bi-monthly newsletter we send to marketing directors and agency owners. And soon our new website will be launched that will be geared towards advertising agencies and brands. And hopefully, with the guidance of 1 million by 1 million, we'll run into a streamlined process of getting new customers. So over the next 6 months, I think our number one focus will be to bring in 4 new advertising agencies as our clients. And based on our revenue projections of $4,000 per month, which will be a mix of platform license usage and service fees such as text message service fees, and plus our fees of managing and launching campaigns on their behalf, we're looking to yield $192,000 by the end of this year. So these are our projections for this year, next 6 months. The question usually is, but Marcos, what will you do about the competition? And well, we know they're out there, but we think that our mix of platforms and services will be sufficient to keep them at bay and continue to grow stronger.
Who are the main competitors? This is a pretty crowded space. Who are the competitors trying to sell into ad agencies? What have you done in terms of researching them?
I think there are certainly a lot less competitors than there are with presenting our platform for small businesses. That market, in my opinion, is at this point saturated. Now, in terms of large platform providers and mobile marketing consultant providers, there are out there. They're big. You're looking at Hit Cricket, iLook Mobile, and they're usually working with very large brands. What we're targeting is a mid-sized ad agency that has customers that may not be Fortune 500 customers like Pet Supermarket, but have enough of a market share, 200 million, enough of a market share to be interested in partnering with someone like us, who may fit their budget better because it's a smaller client, and have us manage or outsource their marketing, their mobile marketing for them.
Okay.
But yes, we're aware there's quite large customers. If anybody needs my business card, or anyone wants to contact me, all they have to do is text Marcos to 65047.
So, Haggai, do you want to go first in terms of questions?
Yeah, so I have, first of all, on the slide that I show about how to get advertising agency, from my experience, the conferences in this segment are the most successful way to get them. So, yeah, conferences. You go to their conferences, they're all there, you pitch them, you talk to them. In 2 days, you get much more than phone calls for the whole year.
Let me ask you, what kind, did you have the name of a conference that you
can go to EdTech, Affiliate Summit, you know, all those, and, you know, just you go in, it's up and running for more than 10 years. Everyone is there. Specifically, if you're targeting the, you know, not the top tier agencies, the second market agencies, yes, they're all there, they all have a booth. You come, you take the business card, you talk to people. This is more successful than any other solution that I see that you're suggesting here. That's one thing. The second thing, I just want to ask you about the technology, okay? Mm-hmm. What is so unique about the technology? What is so different in your technology to you than your competitors?
I think when our platform, what our platform does and it excels the most is the ability to manage and distribute SMS, text message marketing campaigns, gather subscribers and be able to send them text messages.
Just SMS? Just SMS,
just
nothing?
SMS, and we incorporated custom QR codes, so our clients can also build QR codes through our platform. Our future development will move into more of the geofencing and geo-targeting arena. We are in the process of considering what the development costs will be for that, and obviously making mobile more relevant. How are we different from other service providers? I'm not so concerned about the technology, about our technology set being, you know, incredibly different from what's out there in mobile, because at the end, mobile is still restricted by wireless carriers, aggregators, and platforms. What I think makes us gives us a unique value is our expertise in mobile and our ability to do it for them, to do it on their behalf, which I think is a big value added to, especially, like you said, mid-sized to smaller agencies who may have larger clients but don't have the resources or the time to produce these mobile campaigns, which is the case we saw with Lip Up Advertising and Pet Supermarket.
Okay, thanks.
Sid, you want
and thank you, by the way, for the conference. Yes.
Yeah, I had a quick question. It's a very focused offering. What do you see as the size of the market in terms of mid-sized agencies? How many agencies have you extrapolated are there that you can go after?
And the reason why I market 193 in South Florida is because this kind of service and this kind of product, based on my experience, requires a one-to-one meeting. They are going to want to see me in person. So right now, I'm limited to about as far as I can drive, and perhaps including conferences like AdTech, which is a phenomenal idea. So my market is limited to my geography based on my resources. As we grow the company, then we'll invest more in reaching out to other markets. What I know, dealing with ad agency owners in the past for other projects, is that they're a fickle group. They're not very trusting at all, especially when they're passing projects from their clients onto a third party. But they require some kind of face-to-face interaction, at least at the beginning. So that's why my market reach is so tight, and I'm so focused.
Marco,
the other aspects.
Not a correct assumption. I think as you develop track record and success stories and case studies, and you can cite them, you will not need that as you will not need to meet everybody face to face. So there's a process in scaling these things. That's something we can teach you in 1M1M. But I think your assumption that you were going to scale this business, you're going to need to meet every ad agency in person. That's not a correct assumption.
Awesome. I love to hear that scalability.
The price point at which you are selling does not allow you to meet everybody in person to sell business. It's not a sufficiently large, especially when you get down to the small agencies, and if they're going to do just one project with you, you can't really afford to sell everybody in person. Anyway, but I think your point is well taken, that at this point, it's better to concentrate on South Florida, and I think you have a pretty good focused strategy, and I think I think we all agree that you have showed a very focused game plan, which is good.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. I think we need to skip over to Rashmi. Rashmi, you're up next.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Rashmi, founder and CEO of EasyGo from Durgapur, West Bengal, India. So actually, my business idea is all about online portal for e-learning, that is online education. And this has to be very creative in approach. I already know, I mean, there are already so many online web portals. There have been in India, a few of them. But the difference with EasyGo between all those online education portals is that, for example, I would just like to quote one example. Loremade is one such online education portal that is there presently working in India. But the difference is that, the way that they are going for this concept, I mean, online education, is that whatever content of education, I mean, the physics, chemistry, mathematics, or whatever is there, whatever is there in the paper book, they are just printing it on the web page. So what EasyGo, what I am trying to do with this company is that online education through video games. Video games is one such thing in which we can, with a very creative kind of storytelling or social interaction between the users, or being very creative in approach, animations, the different subjects, like especially the physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology, that can be taught, and the different levels designed inside them. They can be like, make the user they'll be like taught the brain of the users to get on the next level, and ultimately they'll be better able to learn the subject. So this is what the entire motto of EasyGo is, because science is all about learning of, because
any video game that is a physics, chemistry, mathematics, or biology video game that you've come up with?
We are in the process of that, because the idea is right now in a very startup phase, and I have just come up with the idea. I mean, though I've been researching it a lot, but till now not yet any.
You have to pick one game, one subject, one game, one target market. Video games are very expensive to develop. So it's not like you as a startup are going to create 50,000 video games over physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology to have a full suite. You're going to have to develop one thing, and basically, I mean, I see a lot of stuff on your slides which really don't say anything.
Basically, what I wanted to focus is on the education market, that is the student market, especially the preparation of IIT. You know, in India is like, it's a craze and booming industry, right, for the coaching institute there.
Why do you have all these slides that have all this, random stuff? This is not a pitch. You saw everybody else presenting today. What kind of a pitch is this? I mean, look at your slides. It's just rambling stuff. If you're thinking of building a test preparation game for IIT exams, that is your value proposition. You have all these 30,000-foot random stuff which doesn't really say anything.
The thing is that I'm right now I'm not a very used to of this market thing, and just a student doing my undergraduation, and I'm very in a learning phase, and that's what I'm trying to do as far as as far as I could. You know? Okay, so nothing much of the technical aspect.
I'm going to give you some feedback, and I think Ved and Hagai can also give you feedback. I think what you need to do is really come up your value proposition from what little bit you've said I've been able to extract, is that you think that test preparation for the IIT entrance exams using video games is a possible area that you want to look into. If that's what you want to look into, you need to pair up with people who know how to write video games. Do you know how to write video games yourself?
A little of that.
Sorry?
I'm learning.
You're learning.
Yeah.
So unless you can come to market with some, or come to the table with some core expertise on how to write video games, and pick, let's say, one area. Let's say you do mathematics, IIT test preparation for mathematics, and even within mathematics, you're going to have to pick something or the other. There are a variety of different mathematics topics that are dealt with in the IIT exams. You're going to have to get very specific on exactly what segment are you going to go after, and then come up with a business plan that aligns with that. Teaching video games or teaching math, physics, chemistry with video games, this is not a business. This is a 30,000 feet idea. You have to zero in on a particular business opportunity and how you're going to build that business. Okay?
Yeah.
Any comments, Ved, Hagai?
Do you own the easygo.com, the domain?
Yeah, definitely. I thought of that.
Okay. I think the comment is right. I mean, you need to be more structured in the way you present the company. So you need to come. You better Google, I think, business plan, and write down everything that we used to see. So what's the problem? What's the solution? Who's the target audience? How are you going to solve the problem? How much money you need? All this have to be in a structure so that people like Sramana, me, and we'll be able to give you a feedback. The way it's presented right now is very high level, and it's very difficult for us to really understand in 5 minutes what exactly you do. What it's exactly trying to do, what's the solution, what's the problem, what's the solution it's trying to provide. So I think the comment that we all need to give you is we need to give you some guidance how to write it in a way that people, the other side of the globus will understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah. And by the way, Rashmi, what you can do is, we have these free roundtables every week in June, and in fact, we have twice a week presentations. What I recommend is you listen to these presentations, you attend these roundtables, and you listen to presentation and see how people are pitching their businesses, and you learn a lot. For the next 6 months, if you just attend the free roundtables, you'll learn a lot.
I've been doing that one since quite a few days, and the thing is that basically I'll be able to do this one.
Yeah, so you're going to need to, and there are lots of recordings available. If you go to our web page, you'll find recordings of our previous sessions. You have a lot of material to learn from, but you have a lot of learning and focusing to do. You are not yet ready to start a business at all. Okay. Ved, do you have any concluding comments for Rashmi while I figure out what's happening?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think nothing more to add. I think you gotta like as I mentioned, you gotta structure the presentations in a format that's easy understandable, and then most importantly, gotta drill down on what is your product solution. What is the problem you're solving? How are you going to solve that problem?
All right. Is Rishikesh in the room? Okay. We are going to move. It seems like Rishikesh is a no-show. Next presenter is Garth. Garth, if you could please unmute your line and come and present.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, very good. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Garth Catterall-Hart, and I'm the CEO of SpiritWorks Software Incorporated. I create easy-to-use free trial accounting software for Mac and Windows and sell it worldwide on the Internet. We have over 12 products for personal and professional use that range in price from $69 to $399 US. I founded SpiritWorks Software in 1999 primarily as a service business. However, over the next 2 years, I developed several downloadable free trial programs including activity and expense tracker for time and expense billing, as well as Inventory Tracker Plus and Small Business Tracker Deluxe. In 2002, I discovered the need for good, inexpensive cross-platform rental property management software and created Rental Property Tracker Plus for long-term residential managers and Vacation Rental Tracker Plus for owners and managers with short-term rentals, such as vacation homes, motels, or small hotels. Next slide, please. In 2008, I decided I needed to expand my company in order to achieve several goals, including translating the software into Spanish and other languages and adding multiple user capability. So I incorporated, wrote a business plan, and started searching for equity investment capital. Our business plan is a $500,000 budget to be spent on a talented team of professionals, new product development, quality assurance, international sales and marketing, and customer support. Next slide, please. Unfortunately, I was not able to find any investors, so I went back to creating new products and released 3 new rental property management products. In 2012, SpiritWorks Software Incorporated offers 12 products, including 5 for micro businesses, 5 for rental property managers, and 2 for either personal or professional use. Next slide, please.
Do you have customers for these products or just the products?
I have over 2,000 customers.
2,000 customers for which product?
For all of these products. I've been selling Activity Expense Tracker for 12 years, and most of my rental property software for 10 years.
And how many? Which of these products is the most successful of your portfolio?
Rental Property Tracker Plus for residential managers.
Okay. All right.
The customers in my market are typically very small businesses with less than 5 employees. These micro businesses are often sole proprietorships who have little knowledge of accounting software. Many still use ledgers or Excel to keep track of their businesses. SpiritWorks software provides these owners with affordable, intuitive products that help them be more productive and make more money. We sell our software for a reasonable price, which includes unlimited inventory, technical support, and updates. Next slide, please. Our customers include many different types of microbusinesses, including independent professionals or consultants who need to bill several clients or projects, retailers who have a small inventory to keep track of, and of course, independent rental property managers with residential, commercial, or vacation rentals. Next. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that over 92% of all businesses have less than 5 employees. And according to the IRS, there are about 500,000 businesses doing property rental or leasing in the U.S. Also, in our total addressable market in the U.S. are over 10 million independent contractors. We estimate the number of rental property owners worldwide with Internet access to be greater than 10 million. We also estimate that more than 75% of these are currently not using any kind of rental management software. So our market's pretty huge. Our customer acquisition strategy continues to be primarily through online marketing, through Google's organic and paid results, as well as many listings on software download sites around the world. We are also seeking additional commissioned sales representatives in the U.S. and other English-speaking countries to promote our software. We have over 3,000 unique visitors to our main website each month. Over 250 of these visitors from all over the world download the free trial version of one of our programs. We send out autoresponders and newsletters regularly. Next. We have 2 classes of B2B competitors. Other low-price solutions, which have more limitations and fewer features than our software, and high-price solutions, including most web-based ones, which have multiple user capability but lack many of the features of our software, such as scheduling, task, and contact management. QuickBooks and Quicken have products that are good at keeping track of income and expenses or inventory, but are not well suited to many aspects of rental property management and have far fewer features than our software. Next. So I have a few questions and challenges that we'd like to talk about, including how to improve my commission sales representatives idea, whether equity financing is the right thing for me to do right now, and how much to go after, if partnerships or bootstrapping still makes the most sense, translations and multi-user functionality. Somebody has suggested that I just focus on rental property software and drop the rest, but I really think that the whole package is still the way to go. I'd love to do some strategic alliances in India or China, and I'm thinking about getting into custom development rather than just having off-the-shelf products.
All right. So my first feedback, Garth, is that you absolutely need to focus on rental property only. You showed us that you have about 2,000 customers today. There are about 500,000 rental property managers in the market, so in your target market. So first and foremost, I would just take that rental property management software and completely focus on that and really penetrate that market, and that is going to be your business. You may be able to sell expense tracking and stuff, other functionality, that same segment, but your leading proposition, leading value proposition absolutely needs to be rental property management software.
Okay.
And this is not a time where you're going to be able to raise equity financing. Your business does not have the characteristics of equity financing at this point. This is a very long topic. I can't really go into the details of why or why not at the moment. But if you win today, you will have access to the 1M1M curriculum, which will take you through the nuances and the dynamics of equity financing and all other kind of financing as well. So those, I don't think this is the time to go to India or China. You need to penetrate the U.S. Rental property management market. You probably can do it with online marketing, with email marketing and so forth. You have to research whether there are lists available and so on and so forth, but this is something that can be marketed online and can be marketed in a very targeted fashion. I will let Hagai and Ved give you more feedback or ask questions. Hagai, why don't you go first?
I think that's the first question. Your background is a technology background or is it a marketing background?
Mine is technology.
Yours technology. So the piece you're missing is more marketing and sales. Is that right?
Right. That's correct.
So I wouldn't necessarily go after the money for the first step. I think necessarily I would try to find either a partner or a company or someone who's basically understands the space, both the rental industry and also the internet, or I would say the web, marketing on the web, and try to help you how to use the new techniques, including Facebook and LinkedIn and different social ways to attract potential customers. I would focus on that, and I totally agree with the assumption that you need to focus on the one thing that you do very good and try to hire a good marketing guy to help you before you think about raising big amount of money. I think this is where the problem is. It looks like you have a good product. You just need another boost in your business.
Right. I agree. Thank you.
My question, Garth, is the product that you have these customers for, the rental property product, is that the shrink wrap software or is that software delivered as a service?
It's neither. It's downloaded off of my website or other websites, and I sell registration numbers.
Okay, so the software runs on someone's laptop or computer.
That is correct, yes.
So that's an area that, you will likely face competition from people who will deliver the software as a service, basically deliver it over a browser, over the internet. And over time, that'll be very hard to compete with those guys because they'll be able to deliver upgrades to the software and make enhancements where it'll be harder for your customers who have to download it onto software.
plus, moving on to other devices like tablets and phones, etc. I think you have identified features, you've got an identified market. I second what's been said about doubling down on rental, but I think you may have to make an investment in converting this software into being delivered over the internet, just that allow you to scale much more, allow you to deliver upgraded services much more to your customers.
Okay.
All right. I think we more or less agree on your rental property software being the big opportunity, with a lot of caveats on how you bring that to market in a scalable format. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sorry?
Just thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Last presenter is Chen Osipov from Tel Aviv, Herzliya, Israel. Chen, if you could unmute your line and tell us what you're doing, that would be great. Chen?
Are you hearing me?
Yes. Speak up a little bit. Your audio is low.
Okay, great. My name is Chen Osipov. I'm from Israel. We're based in Herzliya Pituach. And the product we are developed is, switch to the next slide. It's more about the product. It's called SEO Genie. It's SEO automation software. Our value proposition is based on automating human labor and provide some SEO metrics on how the process is going. Next slide. Generally, the opportunity is to automate a very large amount of websites in the ethical manner, beside manual work. Currently, when the slide was based on back in there are 230 million websites available on the public. Now it's, I think, more, and only 2-3% of them are SEO optimized. Next slide. Okay, there are things on the market that are not so much fully automated solutions. Most of them are just monitoring solutions, just to see the ranking, to get some SEO advices, but not to do the whole cycle of SEO work on the website. Next slide. The classical process is that some company hire some, let's call it a SEO administrator or a SEO advisor, that will analyze the site and tell and choose the keywords and tell where and what to change. Then, generally, the firm hires a SEO programmer that will actually tune up the code and do all the changes. And then there's the SEO administrator again that came and checked that all was done properly and fine-tuned, and this is going on and on from the beginning. Next slide. Yeah, our solution is to remove the programmer labor from the equation and to automate the SEO administrator process too. Next slide.
Is this possible? I think there's a question in the audience, and I have that same question. Is it possible to automate SEO?
What? Sorry, there's problems in line. Can you repeat the question?
Question is it possible to automate SEO?
Yep, it's possible. We done it. Like it's what we're talking about. It's a live product that we're validating and testing for more than 2 years. What is the main concern? What do you think is not possible to automate?
Well, it's a question. It's a technical feasibility question. Is this a product that you're already selling?
Yep.
And you have successful customer case studies?
Yep, we have around 200 paid accounts that are stayed. Most of them stayed with us for more than 2 years.
Okay, interesting. Okay, keep going, please, with your presentation.
Yes, we provide a SaaS solution that managed online with our little software we call Cell Optimization plugin installed on the client side. Like on the web servers of the client side, we actually do the work, changes HTML and so. We run regularly on a weekly or monthly basis SEO benchmarks that test the specific keywords against the targeted search engines to see the improvement and the decline. And we have keyword research to try to adjust better keywords. Next slide. We have a patent pending. We have a patent pending for that kind of solution. In the last date of the patent. Generally, it's very simple to use our solution for now. As we think, like every non-technical person can install the plugin, have wizards and so. Generally, to do the basic SEO, like we try to do a Pareto, like to do 80-20. We can do 80% of the SEO work without any human interaction. So.
And when you do plugins, are you plugging into the content generation engines like WordPress?
Yeah. We have a general plugins that plug into ASP or PHP site, matter less if it's a CMS or not. And then we have developed special plugins for WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal. We have specialized plugin for that. But generally, our software can plug into any PHP or ASP.NET website.
Okay.
So it's more underlying rendering engine of PHP or ASP. Any HTML that fires out of this website is processed with our plugin.
So this, by the way, is a service that SEO optimization is every single customer, every single member of the 1M1M community needs this. So if it actually really works, I would love to have you market it through our channel to all our members.
Thank you. The general question of mine is what we lack for now is marketing, because almost all our clients were acquired randomly, and we just think what to do, in which way to go in the marketing area, which sub-market to address. Website builders or hosters. So generally, this is my question. But our business model is a freemium model. Currently, we have around 1,000 websites in the system, which 200 of them are paying customers.
Okay.
Next slide. There's a bit of competitive landscape. This is a bit older slide. Few of the companies already don't exist, but the exact factor and relative stream I'm doing something a bit similar, but not in the plugin stuff that we do. Next slide. Yep. If you want. Yeah, as I told you, we have around 1,000 subscribers. We release a new version in 2 to 3 months, and currently we are self-funded. It's me and my partner, who's a business guy, and that generally.
And you are charging what, 25,000 per month, 25 to 75 per month.
Yeah, $25 to $75. Currently, it's keyword based. Like if you buy more keywords, you pay per keyword. And there's already a price list at our website. We had launched the paying model a few months ago. It's already public. Go to our website and see.
So you're making $5,000 plus a month in revenue right now.
Yes, something around that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's.
Some of the customers are like website builders, and they're priced a bit lower because they come with a large quantity of websites.
Okay. All right. Do you want to ask questions, Haggai and Ved, on this business?
Yeah, generally, we have two problems. One is how to scale our marketing, and the second one is how to scale a bit more good, but how to scale our infrastructure, because we're processing very large amounts of data, and we need to scale the system in some manner. Because currently, it's fine, it's working, but we need to invest another few months to build a more scalable system. But the main question to you is how do you think how to do marketing for that? Currently, all the marketing that we've done is just installed our plugin on our system and promoted it through search engines with our system, nothing more. But any approach our customers by ourselves, or it's just all customers that we have for now from traffic.
Have you talked to the guys like WordPress? Have you done any partnership with WordPress? Because a very natural extension would be to become a WordPress plugin that WordPress markets on a revenue sharing basis, and you could conceivably become available to all the WordPress customers.
Okay. Good idea.
Yeah. You haven't talked to them?
No, we had a plugin, but we hadn't put it in the market.
The WordPress plugin is not out yet.
It's out, but it's currently not in the market, not in the local market.
Well, I think there are some question marks that I think in all of our minds about the viability of what you're proposing to do. I mean, it's not even conceivable for me to think that you can optimize my website because there's so much content. It's a WordPress website. So I think and this is the question that I think is on many minds, is whether this is actually really viable to do it. Unless it's a very small, very simple site, it may be viable. And then you're raising questions about marketing and sales. I think if it's viable to optimize WordPress sites and movable type sites and so forth, that those could be partnership angles, and you could market through their channels. That's one possibility. So why don't I let Haggai and Ved ask their questions, because we're going to have to wrap up your presentation. We'll have to address if you win today and if you decide to work on your business, then we'll work on all those issues.
I had just a clarification question, and with your existing customers, what does the implementation cycle look like, and what do you tell them in terms of what do you tell your customers in terms of when they can start seeing results?
The implementation cycle is just log into our website, add their site to the system, choose some keywords that they think are viable for their website, install a plugin on their website, and generally the results are seen after 2-3 weeks, up to a month. And we also draw a graph of the the rank, so you can follow the rank if it's increased or decreased for those keywords.
Okay, so the optimization, what we generally understand is that the SEO optimization comes from, internal site architecture and content, but also from links. So does this system support, how does it support building the external linking?
Currently, we don't focus on the external linking, and we are succeeding to write the site by only doing the on-site changes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Would you agree that the solution is good for small vendors, or is it good for big websites? I mean, is a big website need a different solution, or they can rely on your solution? Big, I'm talking about something big with a lot of content, not presenting big company, right?
It depends. Like if the main core business of the company is content, I think that they need to have some kind of inside SEO person to promote it. But generally, we have one of the case studies is a site that have more than 2K pages with 3K of keywords, like linked to one to the other. So generally, we can promote big sites, but it depends. Like if it's a really big website, they should have entire their own house and field. Like we do the basics. We don't do the 100% like a human would do.
Okay, I'll just try to answer the question you asked about marketing. I think you should, if the product is functioning and doing a good job, I think you should continue trying to give it for free for a certain period of time, as much as you can, so you get that traction. It might be the cheapest marketing you can do ever. And I think my colleague here are right. I think the main focus you can take is also business development. So I would go to WordPress and Wix and GoDaddy and all those places that there's interaction with people who own websites, and try to develop channels with them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of e-commerce vendors who would be viable channels for you, like who do small e-commerce sites. BigCommerce, Volusion, Moonfruit. These are the companies that do small e-commerce sites, and if you can become their preferred SEO optimization vendor, that would work, I think. All right, I think we've listened to all the pitches. Now, Maureen, why don't you take over, and while Ved, Hagai, and I kind of huddle on Skype, and we'll exchange notes, and then we'll come back and announce the winners in just 5 minutes. Okay?
Sure.
All set?
Yeah, we're all set. Feel free to chat and ask any questions you have in the chat, and make sure your settings to all participants. And I'm going to play a video of Sramana.
One of the missions
discussing.
of 1 Million by 1 Million is to democratize leadership education. And I want to share with you a very few points of how we are doing that. We really want to reach 1 million entrepreneurs and empower 1 million entrepreneurs to be successful, build $1 million businesses. Where we come from is actually Silicon Valley. I have lived in Silicon Valley for over 15 years, and I happen to be part of Silicon Valley's elite network. I went to Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. It's a big brand, it's a highly elitist brand, and I had access to this highly elitist network of Silicon Valley. And if you look at how Silicon Valley has evolved, entrepreneurship in Silicon Valley has always been the privilege of this elite network of Silicon Valley. There's the Stanford network, there's the Harvard network, the MIT network, the Wharton network, the Berkeley network, and these networks kind of pull people up within the network. And there's a lot more access to alumni within those networks where people gather the education of Silicon Valley, very largely, has been kind of floating in the air. It's tribal knowledge. It's not available in books. It's not available in DVDs. It's available in form of tribal knowledge. And no one has really taken the time to institutionalize the tribal knowledge that is floating in the air of Silicon Valley to make it portable for entrepreneurs all around the world. And that is what we are institutionalizing in 1 million by 1 million. And we are making it portable on a global basis. Any entrepreneur anywhere in the world can access through the internet. And today in 1 million by 1 million, we literally have people coming from Cape Town to Iceland to New Zealand to Brazil to Argentina and every corner of the American continent. India is very big for us. We are seeing people coming from all over Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, everywhere. And that's something we are very, very proud of. How do we do this? How do we make this knowledge available to you in a scalable format? One of the ways we do it is through video lectures. I have spent lots of time with entrepreneurs sitting down and recording their strategies and their lessons from the trenches and watching the patterns and developing methodology. So 1 million by 1 million today offers you the synthesis of that methodology in form of video lectures. And it is a methodology of lean, capital-efficient, bootstrapped entrepreneurship. Yes, we help you raise money, but the basic philosophy of the program is lean, capital-efficient entrepreneurship. Okay, folks. Let's go to the winners. From what we have agreed, Maureen, can I go ahead and announce the winners? Hello? So from what we are seeing here, we would like to award 1M1M 6 1M1M scholarships today, and they are going to be Travel Genie, Semaphore, Karishma Kids, Momaris, Live Gadget, and EasyGo. I'm sorry, not EasyGo, Live Gadget and Spirit Rocks. I'm afraid EasyGo and 39 Shops and SEO Genie have not won today, but the rest are, the winners are Travel Genie, Semaphore, Karishma Kids, Momaris, Live Gadget, and Spirit Works. I'm going to put the names down in your public chat as well to give you the full story here. All right, folks. So that's pretty much where we are for today. Today's session gives us 6 winners. You've pretty much heard about what we're going to do. I think Haggai and Ved, if you want to talk a little bit about about BlueSnap and Elance, that would be great. Haggai, would you like to go first and talk about BlueSnap a bit?
Yeah, sure. So BlueSnap is an online platform for companies in the small size and the medium size that want to go online and start doing the e-commerce, including processing and checkout solutions, specifically in the digital arena. Companies like Autodesk, Wix, MyHeritage, Whitesmoke, other companies find it as the right solutions for them. As companies grows up and the payment is becoming complicated, specifically global payment and recurring and different alternative payment, BlueSnap is becoming the best solution for them to outsource the whole needs outside. The company is growing because of the e-commerce growing on the web, and a lot of new demands and ideas that coming in the payment area that we can facilitate.
Right, and our hope is that you are going to use, all of you who won today, the BlueSnap Elance scholarships are going to use BlueSnap as your payment provider, whether you're a subscription business or a digital commerce business, that you're going to be using BlueSnap as your payment provider.
Exactly.
And Ved, would you like to talk about Elance as well as the Elance credits that you're offering to the winners?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to participate in this. It's a very interesting session. Elance is an online marketplace for services. So it's actually an online marketplace and a workplace for services. You can get services on demand, access to programmers, writers, designers, market research, administrative assistants, and legal assistants. I mean, all kinds of services that you can imagine are available on demand through the platform. Actually, some of our best customers are startups and entrepreneurs who don't want someone on their team full-time, but rather need access to certain skills on an on-demand basis, and they can get that through the platform. So I would encourage you to check it out and see maybe you need some market research done, maybe you need some prototypes done, maybe you need some online marketing help or websites developed. You can get that pretty quickly on the platform within hours on the platform. So check it out.
Great. And folks, we are going to have the next few sessions. It's on your screen. The second BlueSnap Elance final is going to be on June 7th, which is this Thursday. And we're going to pick another 6 winners for 1M1M scholarships. In addition, we have coming up on June 14th the ANN Media Elance contest with Imperial College in London. June 19th is the ANN Media Elance contest with London School of Economics and European Startups Network. June 21st is Innovation Pavilion Colorado. That is not a startup contest. June 26th, however, is again a contest final. That's ANN Media Elance with University College London. June 28th is not a final, but it's a Boulder, Colorado specific session. And July 5th is our 135th regular 1M1M Roundtable. And then there will be more finals in July as well. So just be aware of all these upcoming events. Swarna is asking, Sramana just wanted to clarify if you mentioned Elance credits being offered. Yes, Swarna. There are. Ved, do you want to talk about Elance credits?
Yeah, I believe the credit is to the order of I think $75 per user. You can correct me if I'm wrong, someone. I believe that's the level that we agreed on, and basically it allows you to try out the service. As it is, the model is a global pricing model, and this service allows you to get started with it.
Right. And what we'll do after this session, now that you have won, the winners will hear from Maureen on how to get started with your 1M1M membership as well as the Elance credits. We will connect you with Carrie at Elance, who will help you work through the Elance credits that you've won as well. So all of your questions about how to get going and everything will be answered shortly as you start getting your memberships, activated in the program. Now, before we close, we're ready to close the session, Before we close, I have one request to all of you. If you found these sessions useful, if you're finding these sessions useful on a regular basis, please help us spread the word. And 1M1M really hopes to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond. And we are seeing a lot of success within the program of entrepreneurs making serious, discernible progress on the revenue front. So we have success today. We have a proven model, and we would love to have your help in getting the word around and reaching more really good entrepreneurs who can come and take advantage of the resources that we have put together for you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Haggai and Ved, for judging the contest today, and we will see you again on Thursday for the second part of this series and the BlueSnap Elance contest. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice day. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.